Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the final game. I think it's time for you to stop ever doing that again, Adam. So, never do that one again. But I wanted to start off with a gigantic apology to the wonderful ladies over at Team Girl Boss because they are also undefeated, and we glossed over that. Shout out to Tara, Lioness, the whole squad over there. They are also undefeated. So yes, they are very good too. But another undefeated team we have is Gugu Dolls. They're fighting for the top spot and they're taking on Team Sinister Red. I think this game is going to be just a little bit more competitive than potentially the last game was. If you're just now tuning in, Wichita Wolves, they made a gigantic statement in their entrance to Project Eris. The old Whammons team roster started off with a 7-0 victory on Villa, proving to me that they can't just play Oregon and that the future is bright for that roster.
Absolutely. Now, if we head over to the information desk where we figure out what's going on here, I'm Doctor Strange. Anyway,
That's
thank you
why I
for the
said it was
correction.
time for you to stop.
So thank you for the correction, Linus. By the way, that was her who corrected us. Yes, Google Dolls are also undefeated, I'm sorry, not
Girl
Google Dolls,
boss.
Girl
Girl
Boss. Same.
boss.
They're really similar. I'm sorry. The XDG squad have been looking really good. They were my prediction to be one of the grand finalist teams, but honestly, seeing how Wichita Wolves just played that out, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have zero idea. I think that any team at this point can make it into the grand finals. But it kind of all starts with this, doesn't it? Like, it all starts with this game right here. Can Gugu Dolls continue this undefeated streak? Because I feel like they've beat just about every type of team. You know what I mean? They've beaten your aggressive teams. They've beaten your passive teams. They've beaten your low teams. They've beaten your highs. Sinister is kind of like the last check on their list. And then it's then it's like Girl Boss, and then it's Homeland, and then it's Wichita. It's going to start to slowly
they've
build.
still got their work cut out for them.
Absolutely.
Sure, they took down SH early on, which was a very impressive showing, where Mochizo, aka It's Lauren, kind of played on a 60 hertz monitor and still fragged out. That was impressive. Very impressive.
Right. She's definitely been pretty critical. I would definitely say that the experience has been helping out Gugu Dolls a lot. Like their attacks just make a lot more sense than any other team. I feel like they just understand what they're doing. They have the workflow going. But let's transfer over to the rosters as we move on to see who exactly these teams
just keep on
are.
doing it. But hey,
on Sinister Red and Gugu Dolls. This is actually a learning experience for me because a while ago, back whenever I was casting Sinister Red, or back when I knew about Sinister Red, I don't think I was casting it, but I knew about them. There's a lot of different players on this team. So this is also a learning experience for me. But Gugu Dolls haven't gone that much change. Marmalade, Burb, Lauren, Goddess, and kind of the unexpected playmaker of Turler up against
Turler made me lose my voice week 1.
She did. That was crazy. I remember that.
The GA 1v4 with like 10 seconds left.
Yeah.
That still lives in my head rent free.
Yeah, that was crazy. That might have been the best 1v4 I've literally ever seen.
Mm-hmm. And for Sinister Red, you've got names like E-Girl, Brittany, Pyra, as well as Assault Queen and Yoshi, who I think Yoshi is coming in as a sub today. So maybe the team chemistry might be off, or maybe it's the honeymoon phase that we always talk about. Sometimes if a new player comes in, the team can get elevated, which hopefully for the sake of Sinister Red happens this week, because Gugu Dolls are a very formidable opponent, and having a good showing here can really, if we see an upset come out, that could be absolutely massive for their season.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, back to us, of course.
Did you put on another pair of sunglasses?
The thing is that, like, between Gugu Dolls and Team Sinister, the big difference is Lauren and Emma. Simply put, it is Lauren and Emma. Even if they're not fragging out, they're directing their team. They're making their team
Marmalade
understand.
and Goddess.
Right.
For those who don't know, if you know, you know. But if you don't know, now you know.
Yeah, Marmalade has CL experience. I know we always have to harp on this. Marmalade has CL experience. Goddess has CL and PL. And I think just 3 years ago to this date, she won a DreamHack. So, like, she's basically got it all figured out at this point. So there's a lot going into this. I feel like if anything, Team Sinister are going to learn a lot about their team today. Even if they win or lose, they're going to learn a lot about Gugu Dolls as well. And heading into, the later half of the season, I feel like this game is going to be the game that's very beneficial for them, kind of to understand how they play and how other teams around them that are a little bit more experienced are going to play.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen Gugu Dolls go to Coastline 2 weeks in a row. So maybe Team Sinister starts the learning by not taking them to to coastline.
Right.
That'd be a good start, but we'll have to wait and see as the map bans roll up. If all of that happens, pardon me, I got ahead of myself
Head to
because it's
head.
actually the head to head. It's not the map bans. I like map bans. They're fun. But it seems like E-Girl and Goddess have both been having fun, if you count having insane numbers as fun, which most people do.
I mean, look at this. These two are so evenly matched. Now, obviously, the big difference is the experience factor. On the side of Goddess, also simply having a better cost and survival rate, but not really by much. These two are very evenly matched. I think you couldn't have gotten a better head to head if you tried. Like, these are super evenly matched players here. Basically, the exact same stats, the cost, the survival rate, both being higher for Goddess, the KPR, however, being higher for E-Girl. Very simple name there.
Yep.
So, yeah, very evenly matched players. I feel like this is one of those games where stats, I think, don't really show the whole picture. I feel like all in all, the experience factor, just how these teams play, that's what's really going to bring us our results moving into this game.
Yeah, it's a lot of the times everything rolls up and comes down to experience. We hear it. Experience, experience, experience. It matters a lot. And for the side of Goo Goo Dolls, they definitely have more. However, maybe if we see an interesting map come up that maybe was it wasn't in the realm of possibilities of what Goo Goo Dolls thought, maybe like a bank. No. Instantly
Thanks,
shut
man.
down. Instantly shut down.
Well, there's that. I'm now very depressed. I really wanted to see Bank, but yeah, I feel like if anything, this is kind of going to be one of those instances where we see a structured map, right? We're going to be seeing your clubhouses, we're going to
Nope.
be seeing your villas, kind of just because
We're just gonna get every single thing wrong because that'd be funny.
is that would be hope.
Okay, we got a villa.
Okay,
Gone.
well, we could be going to Chalet.
No. We got Oregon. The complete polar opposite of what we've seen on Goo Goo Dolls. Out of
I swear to God, I did not know these map bits.
we just got everything that we wanted to see.
We
gone.
literally just got them all wrong.
Yep.
That is unbelievable. In literally what world? Hold on, my hair needs some sunglasses. I think I can't see very well.
We get Oregon, Borgen, Snorrigan. I don't want to cast it anymore again. The fourth time that I've done this, and just a lot of Oregon, but we haven't seen Goo Goo Dolls on Oregon, so that could be fun, could be interesting,
right?
Because this is a team that prides itself on not scrimming. So a map such as, once again, I'm going to say Oregon is very structured. It's very kind of down to earth, and you know what you're going to get. Not a whole lot of curveballs you can go through. I like to call it a bit of an equalizer where it's not as much so as Clubhouse, but kind of Oregon and Club are the two maps that every single team are going to have in their repertoire. And for Sinister, I'm going to expect that they know how to play this map. Watched them on it the other week. They didn't look horrible on it, and hopefully that they've learned from their mistakes, because there were definite positives that you could go through on. Could have been better, but definitely could have been a lot worse. Definitely solid enough, but is it solid enough to beat Goo Goo Dolls?
Right. I mean, you need everything you can get whenever it comes to playing against Goo Goo Dolls, right? Like, you have to bring out all the stops. You have to bring out your unexpected plays. You have to bring out the plays where it's like, you're in off position. You're in a 1-4, and you just do some crazy thing. There's a lot that goes into this. I feel like, if anything, what Sinister needs to do is not only to try and match up against the experience that Goo Goo Dolls bring and kind of play into that structured play style, especially on a map like Oregon, but also kind of make those unconventional play styles, make those unconventional moves happen, have those plays that just give you a round or two. You're really going to need to throw off Goo Goo Dolls' entire tempo, because right now what they're doing is they're just running through teams. They're getting aggressive pushes going, and there's really nothing that anyone has been able to do about it. And I swear to God, if we see another boring Oregon, I'm going to be very upset. So we'll have to see what happens.
I will be very upset as well.
So yeah, I'm excited though. I think this has the potential to be a very good game.
I mean, it's Oregon. How much can we really beg? However, I guess the week 1 matchup that we saw in Oregon was actually a lot of fun. So My I have hopes, I have aspirations, I have dreams of Oregon being good. I don't know if they're going to get crushed or not. There's a very high likelihood that it does, or there's a very high likelihood that, Turler just runs around with a G8 and goes crazy, which is a possibility. Kind of everybody else on the side of Gugu Dolls, you can expect to do well except Burb. She's old.
That's mean.
She's old. Yes.
Are you insulting?
And
Are you insulting us social media managers?
I am insulting our social media manager.
What about us? We're social media manager. I'm a social media.
I'm not a
manager.
social media manager. I am a.
Well, anyway, we're gonna be going into the game as we move on to our final map of today. We've had two excellent games so far. Time for one more. Let's see what happens as we move on to Oregon.
Hey, Adam, I wonder if we're going to get a Thatcher ban.
No, we're going to get an Ash ban. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I think we're going to be...
A Zofia ban? We're already cranking
Sinister.
up the spice. Okay.
That's not even a Gugu Dolls ban. This is a Sinister ban. Okay, I'm all for it. Gugu Dolls...
I'm definitely here for this.
Okay. I mean, Gugu Dolls are starting out on an attack, so it makes a little bit of sense just to throw a little wrench into the side of Sinister Red's plans here. But what a way to do that. Tackling down a Zofia, which is just such a comfort pick for this team, obviously, because not only is Zofia just currently the best fragger in the game, just with the amount of utility and the choice of weapons that you can bring, but also just due to the fact that in Gugu Doll's hands, they can kind of just allow their playstyle to just kind of ring true. They can spam with a bunch of bullets or get your AR in, do whatever you want to do, get aggressive, and be fast. With Ash in them, you kind of have to take a little bit of break. You can't burn the ADSs all by yourself. You have to get someone else with a flashbang to help you out, and you only have 2 charges, and that right there, my friends, is quite an interesting operator ban phase, as Mozzie's going to go down as well. We're going to I can already tell. This is going to be... Sinister Red are gonna
fun.
Sinister Red are gonna bring out all the cards.
They've been in the lab.
They have been.
Ooh. Yeah. Apparently Mozzie might be the new E-Girl op. The Roni? It's a good gun.
Oh my lord.
Interesting that E-Girl might be banning her own op. But if names are anything, who knows? And now Moshizo is on knock. That is interesting. For a basement, okay. I thought maybe I was going to try to justify a hard breach charge, a late flank down main, or freezer stairs. But no, she just switches for the floor as the Argentinian man that makes all utility just go poof without need for burn. Util clear on easy mode. Unfortunately, Flores came out like 1 season too late. Or else we could have saved ourselves from that oppressive meta. But now he's here, and that makes areas such as Elbow, which it seems like Sinister Red are wanting to extend into, a whole lot harder to hold on to.
Yeah, that Flores is going to be a big thorn in the side here. And Sinister Red maybe going to be starting to regret the Mozzie ban as the Flores is being brought. Gonna need to bring a mute or just shoot the drones, but even then, that's not consistent enough. The Flores is just so oppressive whenever you don't have a mute or a Mozzie, but whenever you bring one, usually both of them is better, but usually whenever you bring one, you're able to shut down Flores in most instances. You're able to kind of just stall him out and let his effects kind of just dissipate for the time being and make... the main thing is to make Flores an extremely stressful job whenever a mute is present.
Yep, there's no mute.
But there is no mute, so...
There is no mute.
Right. We're going to have to wait to see if they can adapt to that next round.
Because there already isn't a Mozzie. Mozzie also helps. No Mozzie, no worries.
I know. I just said that. Because Mozzie is drone denial. And the thing about Flores drones is that Mozzie Pass destroy them instantly.
They do. Instant death.
Instant.
So right now for Sinister Red, it's a very bunker-heavy defense, except for E-Girl. She's on the deep roam with Goddess droning in Turler on the prowl towards the top side. Armory is exactly where the singular roamer resides, just trying to maybe hit a late flank. That rotate hole opened inside of Attic could be a good avenue to get in behind the attackers if they stack up inside of pillars. You know, just crouch walk down the stairs and pick up a couple of freebies. But it seems like Gugu Dolls are kind of aware of that. Burb rotates over with an air jab, cuts off that aforementioned avenue, and makes sure that, you know, the flank watch, make sure that the flanks are watched.
Nade's coming down. Just a utility burn here for Pyra. Unfortunately, that ADS not going to help her. And in true Gugu Dolls fashion, it's just going to be an aggressive game here, trying to force Pyra to feel a lot less comfortable than she is. You know, kind of having that pressure not only from the stairs, but also from the E-box, or sorry, from the bunker side. And that's how you clear out Pillar. As she's put down to 0 HP. I'm not even sure what dealt so much damage in the first place, but whatever it was, it sends Pyromaniac to drone heaven for the next few rounds, or sorry, cam heaven for the next few minutes, as we've got our first frag of the game.
Yep, man advantage is in the side of Gugu Dolls, but they don't have a whole lot of map control. Pillars has been reclaimed by the defensive side, and E-Girl is on a flank inside of Meeting. She has control of this E-box hatch, which is now open, and she's going to take out Turler. No clue that this flank came out. And now Burb is kind of worried. Her job was the flanks, and a flank came through. Z-Girl's also going to take down Moshizo. 2 for the price of 1 so far. But Burb's going to answer back with a sight player of her own. Down goes Brittany. But the smoke is still left alive. Queen has 1 Toxic Babe left. But she also has a whole lot of bullets in her SMG-11, which is something that Burb kind of figured out the wrong way. Now as Queen rotated over right next to this breach, there's only 14 seconds left on the clock, and the man advantage that Gugu Dolls has evaporated in front of their eyes. Now it's a 1v3. The shotgun knocked out Goddess. Queen falls at the hands of Marmalade, but bullets from Lady Brutal will get that quick trade. Sinister Red start out strong. It didn't look great in the beginning, but E-Girl brought it back. Queen brought it all the way. And Sinister Red are up 1-0.
Right, that was really good there from Sinister Red. I would say that the flank just added just so much more of a layer to that defense, right? Like, they just allowed so much pressure. And even had E-Girl gotten, like, 1 frag off of that, that would have been pretty well. But she got 2. She got Lauren in the end. She got Moshizo in the end. That was crazy. Like, she should have not. Like, 9 times out of 10, Lauren wins that. But unfortunately, she rolled the 10% and she lost. So, really well played there, really effective. I think E-Girl just getting on her toes and moving quickly. I think that was the most important thing, is that she didn't waste any time getting into that flanking position, right? Like, she got in the moment that was clear. She got control of E-Box, got her pick, and had she been refragged, all would have been well, because she already got a pick off of that, but she got 2. So, really well played to her, as well as the rest of Sinister for kind of just holding it down. Queen, especially towards that latter half of the round. Really well played there from Sinister Red, as they'll win the first defense. We're going to be going upstairs, and we've seen an increase of Bandit. Now, the reason being is that Mute has just become basically impossible whenever it comes to wall denial. You basically can't deny the wall anymore. It's really difficult. It's really easy to get around, especially with a Habana. So we're seeing a lot more of those bandits, especially if Kaid is banned, which at the moment he currently isn't.
Yep, Kaid is very strong, especially because there are very intricate places that you can put the Electro Claws, especially over towards that closet wall that, you know, is electrified by the Bandit, which for Gugu Dolls should be quick work down below. Either a floor nade or, you know, just shooting them, because they're Bandit batteries. They can only be in a sort of linear path that's attached to the wall. You kind of have a good idea of where they are. So they should be able to get that wall open if they want. Turler's already down below, opening up the classroom window. Probably just going to floor nade them away. Boom. Down goes all of your anti-breach. And for the side of Gugu Dolls, they can start making their attack. First floor nade does the job. Thought it missed for a second, but no. It bounced, but doesn't matter. That, you know, radius of the shrapnel flying all over the place. Down it goes, and open goes the wall.
No time wasted at all here for Gugu Dolls, and that's kind of that experience tag that you have there. They just got it done with absolutely no delays, right? That was gone within a minute. Some teams would have taken a lot more. Turler, however, is going to get a pick onto Pyromaniac, repelling on that white window. That window can be really tough sometimes, even though it's like, you know, it only watches a very deep angle, a very specific angle. If you're not aware of that window, if you're not aware of that little degree that the sledge can see, it can be deadly, and that's what's going to get an opening pick here for Gugu Dolls. Now let's see how a few playmakers can work this in. It's going to be E-Girl stuck inside of Armory. However, she falls to Goddess. At this point in time, I feel like this round is dependent on how Brittany plays this. She's playing underneath. Sinister Red is starting to crumble here just a little bit. Brittany going to have her air jab shot off here. Teaming up with Queen, the Jaeger Bandit German duo. But they're really chasing Ghost right now. So everyone has already made their way upstairs. Now Queen could get a really, really good C4. And it seems like she's going to toss that. That's going to be a pick there as Moshizo goes down. Burb also goes down in the process in a very tough position to be saved. They're going to try and attempt it. And it's a really risky pickup, so I don't think it's going to work out. Lady Brutal will get the kill. And with 45 seconds left, we're all even. But Turler has swung in to Kid. She's a huge playmaker here for the side of Gugu Dolls, but it's not going to work out as a refrag is immediately had. 2 versus 2. Goddess and Marmalade, however, the 2 most experienced players on the team, your Challenger League and your NAL Pro League players, each going to find a frag of their own, putting that experience to work and making the round a Gugu Dolls round.
Yeah, I thought we were about to get shades of round 1 with Gugu Dolls, starting off the early round looking so good, everything in place, and then Sinister Red bouncing back. But Gugu Dolls just said no. They shut the door. Sure, there was a little bit of pushback from Sinister Red. They almost swung it into their favor. That Nitro Cell and that sort of bunk bed position from Lady Brutal was strong, but it wasn't strong enough when Attic was already in the hands of the attackers. Being able to push the rotate, or actually, I think Marmalade just swung in from the window. I know she was holding Kid's window for quite a while. Maya just repelled in, got that frag as soon as Turler kind of went on the world tour, picked up one more, and just the flurry of kills going for the side of Gugu Dolls. They converged in on the site at the right time. All the players were firing on all cylinders, the refrags were there, and overall Sinister Red just kind of got overwhelmed. But not too overwhelmed, because they think that, yes, this site is salvageable. Sure, we just lost this round, but it was close enough that maybe an adjustment here. E-Girl getting a frag inside of Armory instead of going 0 for 1, going 1 for 1 can completely turn the tide into their favor. Maybe.
At this point in time, this map is about to become all about momentum, right? It's about to become, just who can get round after round after round, who can just replicate their perfect attacks or their perfect defenses to perfection. Well, yeah, no perfection. But what we saw there from Sinister Red was, they got a little bit aggressive, right? They had Brittany and Queen playing downstairs to get a frag of their own. But then whenever it came time for the site push, they didn't really have a lot of ground left standing, and especially with Turler making it into Kids, that really helped her out, right? Like, that was basically what helped them win the round, because she just added that extra layer of pressure onto the defense of Sinister Red. It forced both Brittany and Queen to rotate back. At that time, it was too late. Lots of damage taken here by Queen. I'm not sure what's going on here. Just talking about her right now. Taking a fight. Seems like bottom white. Not sure what happened over there, but Queen's got to stay alive. She's got a C4 and a shotgun to work with. Really need her for the late game.
Yeah. Late game, Nitro Cells are pretty cool. But early round is where E-Girl is feeling a lot of pressure. She knows somebody's coming up the stairs. Down goes Burb Chan. All of that burn gone in a moment's notice. And the quick jiggle peek sees that, yeah, there's a gun. Somebody is on my window. Moshizo trying to get her first frag as the flashbangs go out. I'm sure with the new... Oh, no, E-Girl isn't blind at all. I figured she would have been full white. But Brittany is full dead. Down goes the Jaeger. Oof. But Lady Brutal's going to swing out for the refrag. Goddess got a little bit too comfortable over towards Trophy, and she's going to pay the price of having to watch those flank cams for her team.
That accidental drop for E-Girl here could be a deficit. It is a deficit as Moshizo takes her down. Turler on the same goes for a kill and gets Queen. This time not repelled into Kids, as there's someone still in there. A vault in here from Marmalade is going to be her doom, and that's one way to claim a round back. 2 versus 2. No walls are open as well, because Moshizo just can't seem to get that done. It'll be open right now, and that's going to add a little bit more, but they can't entry into that. I'm not sure what happened, but it seems like they're not going to be able to get in through the wall. It's all going to come down to the trophy door. But Moshizo, she's making her way up white. She's going to take a one-on-one gunfight here, but she has to be careful, because as soon as she's heard, it's going to be all aggression here. Lady Brutal, she can't really do much about Moshizo. She's going to have to rely on Pyromaniac She's shifting her attention over to white. This isn't good. Pyromaniac now has to focus on 2. That was so unlucky as Lady Brutal shifted her attention. She seeks out 1, however, and takes down Moshizo. Collects her skull. Turler, the queen of clutch, against Lady Brutal. Rotating now over into kids. She's got the angle. Lady Brutal has no idea, but now she's gonna know. Faking the plant now. It's just coming down to a game of mind games. Turler, very low HP. Both of them very low HP. Almost flicking over to her. 10 seconds left. Turler, she can't win this one, unfortunately. She might be able to do 1v5, but sometimes 1v1s are even harder when the pressure mounts. Team Sinister claim a very important round as they are up 2-1 now. They're going to be able to go, I believe, over to a tertiary bomb site, or even they're going
to go back downstairs, and that's exactly what they're going to do.
Downstairs. Crazy round there.
Yeah, for Moshizo, a little bit of a disappointing play because overall in that 1v2, both of those players were not on the same page. We saw Turler going for the plant, Moshizo going for the frag. And as you know, when you're planting the bomb, you don't have your gun up. And essentially, that round goes from a 2v1 to a 1v1, which for Lady Brutal is she's just kind of chilling. She's feeling good, feeling comfortable. You can take those gunfights and isolating out all of those engagements so you're not having to walk into a crossfire or have an immediate trade when you're trying to reset your crosshair. That's when it's not fun being in a mana disadvantage. But when you can just get one-on-one, 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 etc., that's when you can find success. And that's exactly what she did. A beautiful clutch to reclaim the lead that arguably should have been a Gugu Dolls round. Maybe if Moshizo just stayed top white instead of trying to push, held that shallow cross because it would have required a deep swing to take out Turler in that safe concrete plant spot, we would have seen a different result.
When the pressure mounts, like, it can be really crazy. I mentioned it a little bit there, but honestly, sometimes a 1v5, sometimes a crazy play where the adrenaline is pumping can completely be like 10 times easier than a 1 versus 1, where your momentum has slowed down, you don't have any more adrenaline left, and it's pure focus. That could be scary. It could be terrifying if you're in a 1 versus 1. And unfortunately, Turler, although having one of the most insane clutches I've literally ever seen in my 3 years of casting Rainbow Six Siege, ever, wasn't able to win that one. It's not a big deal. It's still 2-1, and it's a defensive half here for Sinister Red, so not as, not as bad as we're making it out to be, but obviously anything can happen on this. I think if Sinister Red can start to mount more defenses, this could be
it
really
is
good.
Oregon defense. It's Oregon defense.
Yeah,
like,
right.
And the sneaky play of the Malusi, E-Girl, they know she's in T3. Now, can she get a kill? That's the biggest question. No, she can't. Clean, just converging of the Gugu Dolls will net a free first frag. And E-Girl was one of the big players last time we were downstairs. It was her and Queen, the flank, the 2K from the Malusi pushing inside a meeting. Really undid a whole lot of Gugu Dolls' work. And now they don't really have to worry about that unless Brittany starts going for a flank.
Flanks have been pretty nonchalant so far, not very successful. However, there is one thing. Brittany could just play the freezer drone now. She's going to get droned out. This isn't going to work in her favor at all. So at the moment, very quiet here. Marmalade getting aggressive. They're going to follow up with another drone, and it's going to be a really, really quick rotate there from Brittany. Very smart. Get her out of there. She would have taken a 2 versus 1 and most likely would have been refragged. Speaking of frag, Marmalade cooking one up right into my disc, unfortunately. But it doesn't matter, as Goddess is starting to mount the pressure here. She takes down Pyromaniac. A really nice kill. Sinister Red are starting to lose the bomb site as Queen. She's the only factor really holding him out. There's someone walking down long, and she's going to get spotted. Oh, but Queen doesn't pull the trigger. It's a 1 versus 5, and it's a flawless. Give it to Lauren, who takes 2 kills. Give it to Moshizo. Really nice push there from Gugu Dolls. Just noticing the mistakes, to be honest, that Sinister Red were making. Really well played to them.
Yeah, the inclusion of the Jackal to help their roam clear, which did take a little bit of time. Last round, they were downstairs. And then, just roll up and have a C7E in sight. They would have had smokes for an execute, but it never really got to that phase because Moshizo pushing down blue just just getting frags. Habana moment, Shaiko moment. Picking up those frags, making up for her mistake last round. And right now, for Gugu Dolls, I mean, at worst, a 4-2 split, not in their favor, isn't even bad on Oregon. A 4-2 split's kind of expected, and now they have 2 rounds left to just work with. And if they can get a 3-3, then they'll be looking a lot better.
I really think 3-3 for Gugu Dolls, like you said, would be really good. But this is where Sinister really need to start pulling out a little bit of those aggressive plays. You know, they got really confident at the beginning whenever they started to mount a few rounds, but they lost it a little bit. They kind of pulled back. And one thing is that we're seeing a lot of from Sinister. Even though I said they need to ramp up the aggression, I feel like that should be in the form of wide swings.
Tactical aggression.
It should be in the form of wide swings, it should be in the form of refrags, and it should be in the form of crossfires. But what Sinister Red are doing instead is they're kind of adapting to a little bit of a lurk meta, right? Like they're just having somebody lurk out in a certain position, and if they don't get a frag, well, that's that. They can't get refragged, and they're kind of just stuck in a box. We need to see more of Sinister Red playing a little bit together and kind of taking their aggression as a pack, as a unit, having crossfires, having people swing off of each other, playing contacts. That's what we need to see more of. But Sinister, they're just kind of like putting themselves on an island, getting those lurk plays, making those lurk plays happen. And whenever they don't work out, I mean, you reap what you sow. Like there's no refrag ability, there's no fallback. It's just you lose a player, and that's it. That's the ultimatum.
Ooh, Goddess is already in a very, very interesting position. How she managed to get all the way up Shower Hall? That's the work of the droners, the cutoff drones that we see so famously on Oregon, that early intel. That's the confidence for the entries to just fly on in. As, if you notice, we're 45 seconds into the round. But Gugu Dolls are right next to the bomb site. They're burning. They're throwing flashbangs. In come the Rotero drones taking out utility. There's no intel inside of Kitchen anymore. And Pyromaniac's starting to feel a lot of pressure. Sure, the hatch is open, but now the air jab on security goes down. Marmalade takes out Lady Brutal. Down goes the Maestro. Those cams will remain dormant. Sure, they can, you know, feed information, but they can't shoot those lasers anymore.
Now the aggression here. Her Gugu Dolls starting to get focused on this dining side. Obviously still got Brittany above, but one gunfight can change that altogether. And speaking of gunfight, Queen is going to fall as well. We talk about that late game C4 that they really need towards the end, and it seems like they're going to lose it. But there it is! Brittany and Pyro are going to make a huge play and get a few kills here. But Burb, she'll respond. Old as crap with the best gun in the game. She'll be able to get one. It's a 3 versus 2. And while you still have Brittany upstairs, a refrag can do her in. Or just a swing. An unexpected swing where Brittany feels like she has the advantage. But it seems like that's not going to happen. They're going to flood the site. What is this? Brittany's going to be able to claim one, and Negro will spot out one as well. But she can't do anything about it. She's stuck in a corner. Brittany really needs to help her out in this moment. And there's the drop. Perfect read here from Brittany as a third kill is claimed. It's all down to Bourbon, a 1 versus 2. She'll claim the kill into Brittany. 40 seconds left. E-Girl's got a shotgun. You got to be very careful with how you swing this. They're all playing very close together. E-Girl has to play the close range. Burb has to play the long range. Shotgun's gonna swing on out there. The flashbang's very powerful in this new meta. And here she comes over from stage side. And oh! E-Girl's looking the wrong way! What a beautiful read there from Burb. She can do more than just social. She can win an entire round for you. 3-2 on attack. You've guaranteed the 3-3 half. Beautiful play there from Gugu Dolls. Beautiful play there from Burb. Turning an almost tragic round into a victory.
Yeah. You've been saying playmakers all the time, but, you know, I guess Burb's enough of a playmaker even on flank watch. Just roll in ARX and then go worldwide. Sprint all the way down green after the aggressive play from E-Girl didn't quite pan out. If a couple of those pellets landed on that pre-fire with the shotgun, we would probably be singing the praises of Sinister right now as opposed to the Gugu Dolls, but sometimes Siege just says no. And sometimes Burb opens up her own doors with a really smart rotation that netted them around. The flood was interesting to say the least. It was very coordinated. All 3 players just, if you blink and you miss it, they went all the way down the bomb site. They knew that the hatch and split were the only positions occupied by Sinister defenders. And if you get past the hatch, then there are a couple of places that you can plant. Burb got all the way to Green Hall. We saw Turler on the Flores got all the way to Concrete Box. And I think overall, Brittany just got overwhelmed. I mean, I would too if I'm staring at a hatch, then all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, okay, they might swing soon, then boom, 3 people sprint just in the blink of an eye. And it worked out for Gugu Dolls.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse.
I really thought that whenever Gugu Dolls forfeited that upstairs control, whenever they lost that gunfight to Brit, she had played that perfectly. She got the kill.
She dropped, got
and
the.
She dropped at the literal perfect time. I was so happy. Like I was like, oh my god, she dropped so perfectly. And then, Burb just turned up.
Yep.
Burb put on. All she put on all the stops, and she just went for it.
So, we've seen very different takes from Gugu Dolls each time upstairs. First a breach attempt, then a trophy attic split, and now guess what, Adam? We see a big window coming out, and there's no floor holes for the shotgun down below. In comes Goddess, in comes another player, but it's an absolute meat grinder. Brittany, E-Girl, everybody on Sinister Academy just put Gugu Dolls in the blender.
I found the holes. It's in every single one of their skulls at this moment in time. There's your holes there, but Charlotte and Marmalade have decided they're going to play the long con here. They have 2 minutes to work with to just find picks and kind of crush Sinister Red's confidence. Marmalade now going to make her way up white, and no one's contesting her. Oh! But there's one crucial piece that I might have forgotten. The Bishop playing bottom white to take out the pawn. It's a 1 versus 4 in Turler. Oh, Turler. We've seen her in many
Hey, we've seen her do this before.
We've seen her do this before. This is just another day in the office, but I'll be absolutely shocked. How does this one go, Connor? I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think Turler walks up white stairs. Queen swings, but Turler somehow just claims the kill.
No, she gets fried through the floor.
No, because Queen's gonna swing.
She's gone.
Queen's gonna swing right into Turler's crossfire and just get murdered. Wait, Queen's not. Why does Queen have to be off site so my prediction's wrong?
Yeah.
And then I'm just.
But Lady
dead
Brutal's
wrong.
on site, and Turler never got there.
Well,
3-3 split. Not too shabby for either team. Oregon, it still is defender-sided, but, I mean, it can go either way just as easily as the Gugu Dolls were cooking up on their attacks. We can see Sinister come out. They had some pretty intricate defenses. They looked good when they had those pretty dominant rounds. I mean, they were good, but just as much so, Gugu Dolls seemed to be able to just snap their fingers and boom. Flawless round on a basement rush. Insane, just 30 seconds, and they're knocking on the doors of site for the tertiary bomb site. And then upstairs, I mean, that rush didn't work out when you kind of do it a couple of times in a row. Teams pick up on patterns. Sinister was like, oh yeah, they're gonna rush. We're guns up. We're ready. I said the word, the meat grinder, the blender. That's exactly what Big Window and Bunks was for Sinister Red. They just absolutely diced up everybody on Gugu Dolls, and all the damage was done. But that was the attacking half for Gugu Dolls. Now they're on the defense. And I would press you to find a Siege player that prefers attacking to defending.
Gugu Dolls have made it work, right? Like, they got themselves a 3-3 half, right? So, if anything, the Gugu Dolls, they're in the driver's seat right now. Like you said, nobody likes attacking, but if Gugu Dolls can make it work, make a 3-3 work on Oregon off of Sinister Red, I think that, you know, their attacks were successful enough, and they're going to be able to just ride the wave, ride the momentum, and just work the defense, and just play fundamental Siege. That's really all you have to do to win this. You just play fundamental Siege against Sinister Red, who are going to try and bring out these weird plays where, you know, they just kind of feel like they need to make a play. Anything can happen. Did that Rotera go through? It did.
Sounds like it did.
Wow. That's Moshizo forced out of that position. At least without a shield. Both shields gone. The power of Flores, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. 4 drones!
Moshizo doesn't care, though. No shield, no problem. She takes damage. She can just fall back to site because there's Kona stations.
Wow.
And just like the Kona stations, there's also a Thunderbird. Turler picks up a good kill with the Spear 308, as the newest defender is already making an impact for the side of Gugu Dolls with their aggressive playstyle. They don't get punished as much. You can just fall back to site, you can heal, and you can have somebody like Goddess swinging with the utmost confidence. Brittany falls to the smoke, reclaiming elbow, and she wants more. She's swinging once again. Rotero Drone's going to force her to fall back, but she still has some more my discs, and she still has Malusi's. There's still so much utility inside of elbow that the Flores is not going to be able to get because there's no more Roteros.
C4 goes off in the distance to take down Lady Brutal, and it's going to be claimed by Bird. Might as well boost the KD, as the 5 versus 2 is just about as easy as it sounds. Swinging right there into Moshizo's crossfire. E-Girl is left standing in a 1 versus 5, trying to at least find one there. Turler swinging wide to try and get her frag as well, as if she needed it, going literally 9 and 5. But Flawless is going to be denied by the looks of it. Oh no! Get your kill! Get your frag! Get her! There it is. Flawless denied. Let's go.
Nice. So, down goes Burb. Won't be putting a clip on Twitter. Might put a sad gif.
Burb has
just
been
instead.
fired.
Yep. You heard it here first. Breaking news, everybody. Project Eris is looking for a social media manager. LFSM. Negro's looking for a frag, but she's not going to find it. Moshizo was a little bit closer than she expected, swinging over towards Split. And pretty dominant defense to what we've seen for Gugu Dolls. The likes of which we didn't quite see on Sinister Red. We saw more of Gugu Dolls getting a bit more control and then Sinister Red fighting back. But for Gugu Dolls, they didn't give up anything. It was like a steel curtain, and they were trying to dig through it with a plastic spoon.
I mean, have you ever heard of the Great Alcatraz escape of like the 1930s? I don't even remember what it's
I
called.
heard they made a COD map about that.
I can't believe you just said that.
A zombies map about that.
One of the greatest zombies maps of all time, but I still can't believe you just said that.
I know that you're a zombies nerd.
I am, but I still can't believe you just said that.
Attackers need to locate and defeat
A historical event.
It didn't happen. It only happened by Activision. Activision created it. They wrote the script all those years ago.
I'm wondering, I forget what it's called. Wasn't it just the Great Escape?
I don't know. Probably. But yeah, Alcatraz.
Oh, that's some.
You talked about
It's
islands
just
with
the
roamers.
Escape from Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
That was done with a spoon. But I don't think you're going to break through the steel curtain of Gugu Dolls' utility-based defense over towards blue with a spoon. Probably going to need something a little bit more
5
hardy.
seconds left.
I've never tried to do that. I don't think I want to be honest. Google Dolls scare me a lot. Oh, you're kidding.
Hurler's feeling herself.
You're kidding. Oh, she's lost one. She's got one to look. You're kidding me!
Wow.
Turler is just so good at this game. Like, literally 10 times better than I'll ever be. This is why I'm playing League of Legends, because there's people like her out there, and I just can't compete. Holy... oh my god.
That
I
was
wish I could give all these players $5,000. Like, this is crazy. This is literally just insane.
Yeah. They deserve it. And Turler wants more. She's still swinging aggressive, trying to just pre-fire away every angle. With the MP5, you might run out of ammo, but with the way she's playing, she's in a very frag or get fragged mindset. She doesn't value her life right now. She wants those numbers to go up. 10 and 5 right now. 2 KD. Feeling good. Even though this game is still close, like we mentioned, Gugu Dolls are now on the defensive, and they can right the tempo just a little bit more, where they're bringing the fight to Sinister Red. Even though Sinister Red are the attackers, and you kind of have to go to the defense, Gugu Dolls doesn't care. They flipped that script. We're seeing aggressive plays, extended holds, and people swinging things like Marmalade going all the way up attic. She's trying to catch the Maverick out. As soon as this wall goes soft, she's going to pre-fire it. But instead, I don't think that they know she's in this position. She can play it passive. She's gonna reach out, and there goes E-Girl. Burbchan in the meantime takes out Brittany. It's a 5v2. Pyromaniac and Lady Brutal. Lady Brutal barely has any HP after that vault from Marmalade. Both of these players are inside of Attic, trying to enter in through a very small breach. And Marmalade is defending it like her life depends on it.
It's these aggressive plays that are just working out so well here for Gugu Dolls. They just make a play that is just so out of the textbook, right? It's just so out of the ordinary that it just works. Pyromaniac will eventually find that frag, but the damage has already been done. Lady Brutal and Pyromaniac just have nothing left to give. They have no utility to work with here. Nothing to deal with all the Melusi Banshees. Nothing to deal with the C4s that are probably going to be flying at their faces. Or sorry, the impacts are going to be flying at their faces as Lady Brutal's on 1 HP. One softball will be her impending doom. Lady Brutal goes down. And there's the impact. It's a 1 versus 4, and Pyromaniac is simply hopeless.
Unlucky. But the tempo being set, you know, it started with Turler, and the round ended with Turler. She was feeling confident. A spawn peek to a swing in Attic, as Marmalade in playing dip and having the knowledge that there wasn't the top strip made, which typically as a Maverick, what you do is as high up as you can reach, you just draw a giant line over that left panel, because then somebody can just sit on top of, like, you can go T3, the very, very tippity top of Big Tower, drop down onto that railing, and you can have a just unwinnable gunfight for the defenders if they try to push up. Marmalade, as soon as she saw that that strip didn't happen, she goes, oh,
Attackers
I'm gonna make a play.
and defuse bombs.
That's exactly what she did.
I'm gonna make a play. Yeah, but I mean, it's just the fact that, you know, Gugu Dolls can afford to make these plays, right? Like, they're so structured, and they've already gotten their opening picks very early on, i.e. the spawn peek from Turler, that they can work with this. Like, they can just kind of just go wherever they want to. They can make those aggressive plays happen and potentially change the outcome of a round. They have that risk factor. They have that availability to do that.
10 seconds to
But
go.
at the same time, can't get too aggressive.
5
Can't get
seconds
too,
left before insertion.
you know, cocky. Otherwise, it could be your own demise. But at the moment, Gugu Dolls are looking like they want to extend their lossless record and just keep on going on this win streak. And Sinister Red just looks like another brick in the road. Or another brick in the wall,
Adam,
rather.
let's shift gears. Let's talk about the operator lineup for Gugu Dolls, because it's a little bit interesting,
It is.
I guess you could say. I mean, I guess the alibi does make more sense now, you know. A 1.5 MX4 with a shield. There's a certain operator that's really standing out to me. I assume you're on the same page as me.
Yeah. So Turler actually
Mute is just-
completely. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, mute is. I don't know why
about
they're
all
playing
that.
mute. Like, that's. I've never seen a mute before, but no,
The-
no, we're talking about Oryx.
Melusi's useless now. So is Mute. So is I'm just kidding, by the way. Please don't smite me. I'm literally joking. I don't want this to be on Twitter without context. Queen is going to fry Burb. That's the start you need here for Gugu Dolls. You just need to, or sorry, for Sinister. You just need to get yourself aggressive, get that spearhead going, get that one frag, and translate it into more. There you go. Turler's gonna fall as well. You've picked off your roamers, but Goddess is playing T1 in the most unconventional position I have seen in my entire life. You know that there's a possibility that they missed. Oh my god. They haven't drone this! Lady Brutal is going to go down, and this might have just turned the tide of the entire game as Marmalade's going to join him! It's turned the tide of the entire round! Sinister Red had an advantage, and they've lost it.
The duo of Goddess and Marmalade. We've seen it so many times. The cam is calling out the position of Queen.
No SMG
The
love
sound
anymore.
cues coming out, but it's going to be the swing from Goddess as she goes for the triple. Marmalade wants another kill too. Had a bailiff in her hand, but Brittany will shut that down quickly. Goddess swung for intel. They now know and have confirmed with Marmalade's death that, yes, Brittany's alive and well. She's sitting at the top of the T2 stairs. Goddess is waiting for this nitro. An air jab Mushizo burns away, leaving the opportunity for rotations high. However, Brittany's trying to just lock everything down. Both of these players for Gugu Dolls are playing smart because they're playing together. The nitro cell misses. It was pre-placed but doesn't quite land. And now as one swing, Goddess almost hits a stinker of a shot. But once again, the clock rolls on. There's only 20 seconds, and Brittany has decided that, no, I don't want the diffuser. I'm going to go for frag. Take out these isolated one-on-one engagements because Gugu Dolls, I said it that they were playing together, but now they aren't. Brittany's on 1 HP. A single bullet from the fast rate of fire from the MX Storm will finish her off, but it might just be the clock. Never mind, Moshizo's going to swing out, take it, and Gugu Dolls are on match point.
Sinister just have not been able to get their momentum going on this attack. Not a single attacking round has gone their way, and it's come down to these personal plays made by the players on Gugu Dolls. They've just been getting very aggressive, making their presence known, and just doing anything they can to just disrupt the flow of the attack. It has just been super shocking, and I would take a timeout as well because holy moly, this is rough.
But as things have gone for the side of Sinister Red, there is one upside. They've seen every setup from the Gugu Dolls. So they now have the time after their timeout to reevaluate and readjust. They know that, yeah, most likely, because it's almost all the same ops, they're going to extend it to blue. They're going to have a shield towards the swing spot, towards tarps. They're going to open up head holes across the E-box wall. And it's going to be very difficult to take control, especially when they don't have a Flores. Did E-Girl hear me? Is she switching to the Flores? Yes, she is. Beautiful stuff.
Is. Yeah, Flores has just been super influential, I think. Like, it's basically like been the difference maker, I think, for Gugu Dolls on a lot of their attacks. Just especially against a team like Sinister Red, where it's like everything just falls apart around them, and it feels like they're hopeless in some instances. Or not hopeless, but like if you can just ramp up the difficulty even more for this team, who are going up against, you know, one of the best teams in Eris, it can be really helpful. But with Sinister Red now bringing the Flores, we definitely need to see a lot more playmakers, right? Like we need, like with this, you're gonna be able to get rid of most of the shields that Marmalade is setting up right now, albeit as long as there's not a mute jammer. You'll be able to get rid of this pressure that is just looming, or that will be looming from pillars and over from the basement side. But also look, the mute jammers are everywhere. This is gonna be tough. I really feel as if this Flores might not come into fruition as much as I'm expecting it to. Like, the mute jammers are just everywhere.
Yeah. Mute is pretty good counter to Flores. You know? And there's no Mozzie. You just have the mute. And the mute, with where the jammers are placed, a lot of them are allocated over towards the blue side. But Sinister Red, they took their time out and they reevaluated, like I said. They realized that, yeah, blue's not going to be fun to take. You know what we should do? Let's take anything that's not blue. Let's take Freezer. Let's push down main. Let's get that hatch open. Let's start putting pressure in other areas so we're not going directly into the belly of the beast. All the utility that Gugu Dolls have played behind and absolutely dominated Sinister Red last time that they tried to attack.
It also wasn't only just Gugu Dolls, you know, in their utility usage, but also just their aggressive plays. Queen might soon meet that swing from Turler, who is just unstoppable at the moment. C4. A bit premature. I don't think it's going to reach all the way over there, but she's just going to wait. When she hears something a little bit suspicious, she'll toss it that way. We saw 4 C4 kills from Monster Girl, but it seems like we'll see zilch from Turler.
Yep, more nades coming over as an impact nade lands right back on Queen's feet. Down goes half of her HP, and she's been doing pretty well for herself, only eclipsed by Lady Brutal, but Queen goes on to Goddess as Moshizo gets the refrag 1 for 1. An air jab hit on the other side, the attempted flank will not come out, as Burbchan on smoke, interestingly enough, is going for it.
Marmalade's got an aggressive angle here. Very long range one. It's going to be a 3 versus 3, but Brittany's going to take down Burb. This could be really good.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Marmalade and Moshizo. Last two standing. Two very experienced fraggers. They can do anything. They can turn any situation into a good one for them. And there it is. Marmalade will take down Lady Brutal. And they found a Brittany. Brittany will get shot down to death, however. It will be a swing from Brittany that kills herself. All of a sudden, Pyromaniac is in a 1 versus 2. She's got a very high rate of fire weapon, but it's not going to matter when you're peeking Marmalade, as Emma just absolutely destroys her on this angle. Just sees a little pixel, and that's it. Project Eris will continue to see even more dominant dynasties in its league as Gugu Dolls. 4-0. They are on a roll. What a win streak this is from them. Whew. I'm stressed out. Are you back? Hello?
My internet is struggling,
Okay,
to say the least, right
that's
now.
okay. That's all right. The power of the Hawaiian shirts was eventually going to take out the internet. It was meant to do that. But what a shocking game there. What a shocking conclusion. I really thought this was going to be a lot closer, but Sinister, I mean, man, it was painful. They just couldn't pick up on their attacks. They constantly got put in this position where they were just fed to everyone sitting just inside of the site. It really seemed like a really simple solution was to just use your utility that you just burned and use the utility that you just took away from Gugu Dolls to get your kills. No flashbangs were, put in engagements. The nades weren't fatal enough. It was rough.
Yeah, I unfortunately missed most of that last execute because my internet decided to have some fun. But I think I'm back. I think I'm alive. And Gugu Dolls, their undefeated season still alive. Only them and Girl Boss remain.
Totally. Thank you, Linus, for the correction, by the way.
Thank you, Linus, for the correction.
Wow.
Shout out to Tara.
Shout out to Tara. And Allie for also after. She sucks at DVD, but we'll be okay with that. Whew. Well, that was a very exciting set of games here. Obviously, I was here for all of them.
I was only here for 2.
Yeah, they were good games. That Wichita Wolves game, it might have been my most favorite 7-0 I've ever casted. That was really entertaining.
Because every round was still so close. Like you can say, like, oh, that was the closest 7-0 I've ever seen, but like so many 1v1s and clutches.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. It almost just felt like you were playing 7 rounds. But yeah, that's gonna do it for tonight. I'm done.
Wait, Adam.
I'm tired.
But wait.
You could say your spiel. I'm tired. I want to I want to thank personally Grace for casting with me alongside me for map 2 or map 1 or whatever. But we did have a special shout out that we wanted to really bring on. Connor can do the honors of that one.
Yes. We are going to send you over to a great stream. It's Jay Holiday from Tachanka's Angels. She's currently doing a charity stream for suicide prevention. So make sure you guys go in, warm welcome in the chat, help support her as she's just doing a lot of great work. So Absolutely. That's about it for us here. Thank you so much for tuning in and go support Jay Holiday.